Good afternoon, Corinth. I wanted to share with you today a message about making the most of our days. Related to that is the idea of slowing down. Now, believe it or not, I have begun to slow down some. Some of it has been a conscious decision, some of it has been imposed upon me. It all began a little less than a year ago. As I was driving down Central Pike, I was just bebopping along, straightening some curves, and I'm not sure why, but I thought to myself, Alan, you're just not in that big of a hurry. And so I began to slow down in that way. Driving has actually become more enjoyable. Instead of weaving in and out of the traffic on the interstate, I just set cruise control and let all the other drivers do the weaving in and out of the traffic. Slowing down has a number of benefits. You get better fuel economy, you have better response time if you have to drive in a defensive way, and in the unfortunate event of an accident, you actually have a lesser risk of severe injury and even potentially less damage to your vehicle. So I've begun to slow down in that way. As you also know, about 10 months ago, I got a puppy. And a dog will definitely slow you down. For example, instead of hitting the ground running when I get up in the morning, I've got to take the time to let Trig out. Oftentimes I'll go in the backyard with him and just take a few moments to shake the cobwebs out of my head, get my eyes opened up. In the middle of the day, instead of keeping my nose to the grindstone, as they say, I get up and take Trig for a mid-afternoon walk. In the evenings, he wants to play fetch, and so we will go outside and throw the ball and walk the yard and spend some time doing that. So again, another example of slowing down. About the same time I got Trig, Miss Angie decided that she wanted a new house. And as many of you, if not all of you know, we have purchased a home quite a ways down Stewart's Ferry Pike. In fact, it's quite a ways on down to the point where we have a Lebanon address now. I've lived in Mount Juliet or Wilson County for nearly 20 years now, and I've just recently discovered something. The further east you go on Stewart's Ferry Pike, the hillier, curvier, and narrower Stewart's Ferry Pike gets. In fact, there's one section of Stewart's Ferry Pike that is so narrow that the white line isn't even on the road. It is on the gravel shoulder of the road. Learned this lesson rather painfully. One day on my way home, I was met by another full-size pickup going the opposite direction. And the road was so narrow that we actually wound up swapping side view mirrors. So living further down Stewart's Ferry Pike and the curvy roads that are out in the county, I've had to slow down from that perspective as well. Trucks have many virtues, but track tuning isn't exactly one of them. And so we've been talking about the idea of slowing down. But something interesting, we might even say ironic, happened when I started to slow down. As I started to slow down, I began to discover that the world started speeding up, which didn't really make any sense to me. With the COVID-19 situation, workloads, at least in some ways, have been lighter. There's been less social interaction as stay-at-home orders have been in place and businesses have not been open. And so you would think that the days would begin to just drag on, and yet that hadn't been what I have experienced. I've told several people that it seems like I wake up in the mornings, turn around, and it's time to go to bed again. The sands of time continue to fall, and racing Father Time is a futile endeavor. And so today I want to encourage you to make the most of every day. Don't take it for granted. Find some time to be still and know that He is God. Remember that today is the day that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. Let us, as Paul said, make the most of our days, because they are evil. I hope all of you have a great weekend. Remember that the multi-purpose building will be open tomorrow from 10 until 2 so that you can pick up bulletins, Bible study guides, lesson outlines, communion supplies. And for those of you who will be worshiping with us virtually, I look forward to seeing you in that regards. And for those of you who will be joining us in person, I will look forward to seeing you as well. Have a great evening.